This is Nick.
This is Jack.
It's Wednesday, May 3rd, and today's pod is the best one yet. It is a T-boy, man.
It's a T-boy. You look fantastic, by the way.
You're looking great over there. I like what you got on your head. That's a good-looking hat. It's the best hat yet.
Samesies.
But enough about you. Jack, what's the first story for the show?
One stock plummeted by 50% yesterday because of artificial intelligence.
Yeti's AI's first victim is homework.
For our second story, Uber just had its most surprising quarter in years, and it has Nick and me thinking about two things.
When we hear Uber, we're thinking Coke and Pepsi. Coke and Pepsi.
And our third and final story, a professional soccer team in Germany is trying a unique business strategy.
They are selling all their tickets for the nice round number price of $0.
The Dusseldorf soccer team is giving away their tickets for free.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for them.
But Yetis, before we hit that wonderful mix.
Just a wild mix. No one else is doing this mix today, Jack. I love this mix.
Before we hit those stories though, Nick, we found the secret to making money in movies.
Yetis, we have found the key to making cash over in Hollywood.
Here is the key recipe to profitability in the theaters. You ready?
Jack, how do you make money in Hollywood? How do you do it, man?
Vin Diesel wearing tank tops.
We repeat, Vin Diesel tank tops. That's how you make money.
If Vin Diesel doesn't wear sleeves on his arms, then that movie is going to make more money.
What we're saying here is more muscle, more money. That's how this goes.
Vin Diesel.
Vinny D.
The iconic actor behind Fast and the Furious.
And Fast and the Furious 2.
And Fast and the Furious 8.
And Fast and the Furious 9.
Turns out there's a correlation between Vin Diesel's tank tops and movie tickets sold.
Yetis, there is a causation between his shirts and his revenues.
And the source of this story is actually a Redditor named Lundgren's Front Kick, who crunched the numbers on Vin Diesel's tank tops and corresponding ticket revenues.
Yeah, more biceps, more big bucks. Jack, can we whip up the numbers over here?
Here's the deal. Vin Diesel has been in 7 different movies where he wears 0 tank tops. His arms are constantly covered in those 7 movies.
And Jack, what was the average box office revenue for those 7 movies where we did not see Vin Diesel's muscles?
$100 million.
But in films where Vin Diesel wears 1 or 2 tank tops, how much money did the movie bring in?
$200 million in those movies.
But in films where Vin Diesel wore 3 tank tops, how much money did the movie bring in?
$500 million.
And in movies where Vin Diesel wore 4 tank tops, how much money did the movie bring in?
If Vin Diesel wears 4 different tank tops in a movie, it's going to bring in $1 billion at the box office.
But Jack and I should sprinkle in a little more context here.
5 tank tops? That's too many.
Revenues start falling for Vin Diesel after he goes too fast, too furious, and way too many tank tops.
So 4 different Vin Diesel sleeveless t-shirts. That is the sweet spot for revenue.
5 tank tops? It's just too much deltoid for one movie.
The limit? It does exist.
So Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies in the movie industry?
If you want to make a profit in Hollywood right now,
then hire Vin Diesel's naked shoulders.
It's the best ROI in film.
Vin Diesel tank top. Just prints cash.
Let's hit our 3 stories.
For family.
15 years before this song, 2 boys from the Northeast met in a dorm. They had an idea that caused a cultural storm. It's the best one yet, but the best is the norm. Jack, Nick, that's it. I don't even think they need to practice. 50%, that's a fat tip. T-Boy City on your at-list. If you know, you know, cause we ready to go. We can't wait no more, so just start the show. Start the show.
For our first story, Chegg, the online education company, it just plummeted 50% because students are turning to ChatGPT.
AI's first stock market victim is homework.
Jack, can I just kick things off with a poem for you?
I would love that.
Homework or homework. I hate you, you stink. I'd rather take baths with a man-eating shark or wrestle a lion alone in the dark, eat spinach and liver, pet 10 porcupines, than tackle the homework my teacher assigns.
Are you the author of that poem?
I wish I was the author of that poem. I read it in like 5th grade to like a whole group of people, and I don't think the teachers liked it very much. It's a poet, Jack Perlutsky.
My dad used to take me to the local library to do homework, and he'd treat me to a soft serve ice cream, a creamy, afterwards.
That's how every homework should end, with cake. So Yeti's Chegg, it is a $2 billion education company. They do online tutoring, digital textbooks, internet classes. That's their business.
Chegg started by solving the gigantic textbook problem.
Like literally the gigantic textbook problem, right, Jack?
My back still hurts from sophomore year.
The textbooks are bigger than the fifth graders. $437 for a 42-pound bio textbook. Yeah, that makes sense.
So Chegg pioneered first the textbook rental to deal with the cost. Then they digitized the textbook to deal with the weight.
Yeah, because you have to lift with your legs, not your back. No more herniated discs every time you open that Latin textbook.
Now, this company was a pandemic darling stock. Its stock surged 400% on the dream that online learning was here to stay.
But then, Jack, what happened yesterday to this online education company's stock?
Chegg stock fell by 50% in one single day.
Get this, Yetis. Chegg lost $1 billion in value in just a few minutes.
On Monday, Chegg was worth $2 billion. On Tuesday, it was worth $1 billion.
So besties, here is today's lesson. Apparently, one sentence can sink your stock really badly.
Yeah, one sentence can sink your grade. It can also sink your investor relations department.
Yes, it can. And here is that sentence. The CEO of Chegg said that artificial intelligence is having an impact on customer growth.
It's already having an impact today. Not like in the future it could be a threat. It's already a threat, is what the CEO said.
And then the CEO went on. Students usually sign up around midterm exams, but this year they didn't.
Yetis, today, Chegg's business model depends on people paying $16 a month for 24/7 access to their tutors.
Sophomore Susan, she takes a picture of that calculus question, uploads it to Chegg, and then a human tutor walks her through the trigonometry, carry the one, cosine thing stuff.
Right. Well, the CEO just confessed that this spring, when midterm exams were happening, students weren't signing up for Chegg like they usually do during midterms.
They were not. Instead, those students were turning to ChatGPT.
Why? Because not only is ChatGPT free,
Yeah, it's $16 a month. That is a lot of late night falafel for a freshman, Jack.
but ChatGPT is also potentially better.
Because the tutor, yeah, they're not going to write a term paper for you. You know, it's like unethical. They're not going to do that. They probably shouldn't do that.
ChatGPT absolutely will write a term paper for you if you ask it to, and it'll do it in like 5 seconds.
Hey, ChatGPT, I need an 8-pager on the Prime Minister of Malaysia. Boom. You got
It'll
it.
respond single-spaced or double-spaced, and then it will write that paper.
Footnotes included.
Now, Yetis, Chegg is partnering with ChatGPT on a homework helper that they're calling Cheggmate.
But here's the problem. That partnership with artificial intelligence, it's not coming out until next year.
That's a long time. That's an eternity.
So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at Chegg?
The stock market just gave us a wake-up call. Chegg is AI's first victim.
Yeti, sit down, stand up, sit back down again. That was a big moment yesterday. We're talking about the biggest stock drop yet, directly caused by AI.
ChatGPT wiped out $1 billion of value yesterday. It massacred half of an entire company before our own eyes.
Jack and I were looking at the story here. We're like, hey, this is the first tangible example of robots taking jobs, tutoring jobs at scale.
That sounds sad because it is sad. It's always sad whenever someone loses their job.
But here's the hope of AI. Just like every other big technology change we've seen in the past, by replacing jobs, newer, better ones can open up.
We'll see if that optimistic vision actually happens.
We'll see. But in the meantime, Chegg, that stock was a wake-up call.
Homework is AI victim number 1.
For our second story, Uber just had one of its best days in years on the stock market. Not too shabby.
But we have to talk about Uber's Coca-Cola situation.
The Pepsi situation, Jack, or the Coca-Cola situation?
The Coke and Pepsi situation.
But Yetis, before we jump in T-Boy style, Jack and I noticed that Uber just released its list of annual lost and found items.
These are some of the highlights of what people left behind in Ubers this year.
Okay, true story. Apparently someone left a lightsaber in an Uber this year.
Real lightsaber? We're not sure.
Someone left a bidet in the back of an Uber this year.
Someone left a fog machine back there.
Like our personal favorite. Apparently a lot of people leave fake teeth in the back of Ubers. I guess it happens.
They haven't been claimed if you want to go down to Uber and and pick them up.
Something's going on in the back of those Ubers, and we don't want to know what it is. In the meantime, Uber stock just had its best day in years. It jumped 12% yesterday.
Uber just announced that in the first quarter, 2 billion rides happened on the Uber platform, which is up 24% from last year.
And revenue jumped 29% because of inflation.
Big surprise to Nick and me, food delivery is still bigger than the OG business of Uber, ride hailing.
Get this, Yetis. Uber's food delivery business is doing $15 billion in sales.
Compared to $14 billion of sales for rides.
Uber, they're moving more pad thai around town than they are Peters.
But here was the awkward part of the Uber earnings call.
Okay, Jack and I looked through the earnings call, and we noticed that one analyst asked directly about Uber's rival, Lyft. That's awkward.
I can't believe he said that.
Like, you do not mention Lyft on an Uber call. That's just weird.
Well, Lyft just recently laid off 26% of the workforce.
While Uber hasn't done a mass layoff in quite a while.
So the CEO of Uber, Dara Khosrowshahi, was polite to the question.
Yeah, honestly, the way he responded to this question, it showed a lot of character. He didn't have to say this, but he gave Lyft a compliment.
He said Lyft is a very, very strong brand. We agree.
Honestly, Jack and I were thinking about it. Lyft's biggest asset right now is its brand.
People still love that pink logo Lyft has always had.
People are very loyal to Lyft. When you talk to your friends, they are still loyal to Lyft. It's a thing. You're a Lyft person.
I used to be loyal to Lyft because I thought it was a vaguely better, kinder company.
There was no data behind this, but we'd get to the airport and Jack would be like, no. I'm calling a Lyft. That's what we're going to do.
But that compliment that Uber CEO gave Lyft, it hides a truth that we want to talk about.
There's a truth behind the Lyft mustache. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our ride-hailing buddies?
Uber and Lyft are no longer Coke and Pepsi.
A Coke and Pepsi industry. Yetis, a Coke and Pepsi industry, that's when two players control pretty much the whole market. It's a duopoly, not a monopoly.
Coke and Pepsi is the classic example. But there's also iPhone and Android.
There's also Visa and MasterCard.
There's Boeing and Airbus.
And there's Hammaker and Schlemmer.
We always used to say that Uber and Lyft were the Coke and Pepsi of ride hailing, but we can't say that anymore.
We can't because of the numbers.
Uber stock is up 24% in the past year. Lyft stock is down 65% in the last year.
Uber's food delivery business, just its food delivery business, is twice as large as Lyft's entire business.
Uber is worth nearly $80 billion on the stock market. Lyft is worth just $4 billion.
That means Uber is worth 20 times Lyft. Uber is 20 Lyfts.
When you look at the brands, Uber and Lyft are as close as Coke and Pepsi.
But when you look at the numbers, they're Coke and carrot juice. For our third and final story, a German pro soccer team is trying a very dramatic experiment that we have never seen before.
They're giving away tickets for free to all their home games. This is a professional team.
Dishing them out like Oprah. That's what they're doing.
Because reversing a vicious cycle requires dramatic change.
All right, Yetis, are you bored right now? If you're bored, we've got a little game you can play. Here's what you do. You get in front of a mirror, you get a map, and you just start repeating German city names to yourself in front of that mirror. You're going to have a great time. It's a lot of fun.
Dusseldorf.
Dusseldorf.
The old Dusseldorf.
The old Dusseldorf. It's one of the most fun names in German to say, and it's the name of a very fantastic German city.
Don't forget the umlaut.
The umlaut means fiesta in German.
Dusseldorf is a city actually famous for cartwheeling.
Yes, it is.
The sewer lids are covered with the city's logo, which is interlocking children cartwheeling.
Now, all that cartwheeling is cute, except for one business right now in Dusseldorf that is not cartwheeling at the moment.
The soccer team. The 128-year-old football club Fortuna Dusseldorf, it was relegated 3 years ago from the top league to the second league.
Dusseldorf soccer team. They're playing in the second league now, and their stadium, it is half empty for most of the games.
First, if your stadium is half empty, then that hurts the home field advantage.
The team loses more games, so more fans leave the game, and then there are fewer eyeballs on the game.
And then fewer fans at the game hurts your advertising and sponsorship deals too.
Fewer ads mean less revenue, which means less money to sign talent, so then you lose more games, and then you lose more fans.
Okay, now the stadium has become so empty, there's just no atmosphere. which means even more people decide not to go to the game.
And then you see empty seats on TV too. And so people watching on TV, they change the channel on the game.
It's a vicious cycle. Fewer ads, less ad revenue, less money to sign talent. You lose more games, you lose more fans.
And then you see fewer ads, which leads to less ad revenue. And then there's less money. And then the whole thing just repeats itself.
Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat.
For any business that depends on eyeballs, declining attendance, that can be a death spiral.
So Fortuna Dusseldorf has a solution they're trying out this year.
And this is wild.
They're giving away their tickets for free.
Oh, we repeat, the pricing strategy behind this soccer team is to not have a price.
A professional soccer team in Germany, a country where soccer's huge, is giving away tickets for free.
There's no precedent, baby. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies in the sports industry?
We just witnessed the ultimate lost llama.
Yetis for 3 matches this year, and eventually all matches. This football Dusseldorf team, they're giving away all their tickets.
Fortuna Dusseldorf's plan to reverse their fortunes is $0 tickets, except for the luxury boxes.
And here's the craziest thing. It's already working.
Sponsorships are up already on the expectations that the stadium is going to be packed.
Here was the strategy. The club is sacrificing ticket revenue for sponsorships, attendance, and pretzel revenue.
Germans are calling this the ticket revolution.
Das Ticketrevolution.
But we call this a lost llama.
Yetis, this Fortuna soccer team, they could have just waited for like a miracle player or a miracle coach to come around and turn the program around.
Instead, they're giving up ticket revenues to boost every other revenue source for the club.
Because reversing a vicious cycle requires dramatic change.
$0 tickets, that's a dramatic change.
Yeah. Jack, can you pronounce Dusseldorf and whip up the takeaways for us over there?
The old Dussel.
Dussel.
Chegg is the online education company that admitted ChatGPT has affected user growth already.
Homework. It is the victim number 1 of artificial intelligence.
For our second story, Uber stock had its best day pretty much ever yesterday, while its crosstown rival continues to struggle.
Uber and Lyft, they are no longer Coke and Pepsi.
And our third and final story is Fortuna Dusseldorf. They're combating declining attendance by giving away tickets for free.
Because reversing a vicious cycle requires dramatic change. Now, time for the best fact yet. This one sent in by Sadie Stutzman and Izzard from lovely Las Vegas, Nevada.
On Monday, we told you about the big pivot of the city of Las Vegas. In just the past 5 years, they've acquired 3 of the big professional sports teams.
Las Vegas, they got the Golden Knights in the NHL, they got the Raiders in the NFL, and they're getting the A's in Major League Baseball.
But there's a 4th team that we completely forgot.
And that 4th team, as Sadie and Izzard pointed out, it's actually the best team in Vegas.
The Las Vegas Aces, the WNBA team, has also moved to Las Vegas in the past 5 years.
And unlike the other 3 teams, the Las Vegas Aces WNBA team, they've already won a championship. They already did it.
They're the best. They won the WNBA finals just last year.
Not too shabby.
Can we also point out that the Aces is the perfect team name for Las Vegas?
Honestly, Jack, every team in Las Vegas should just be the Aces.
Or the Dices. But that'd be confusing because of the die. The Dices, the die. You're not sure what to say there. I'm not even sure, to be honest.
You could call them the Dices, but then some people would think they were called the die, and it would lead to a whole grammar thing.
It'd be confusing.
It would be tough.
It'd cause arguments.
There would be frustration. Yetis, you look fantastic today. And the best way you can help grow the show, turn to your buddy and just say, hey, HYHTBOY.
Tell them, have you had the best one yet?
That's how we grow the show.
Nick and I will see you tomorrow.
Can't wait. And before we go, a congratulations to the entire graduating senior class of Mrs. Remley's marketing.
They listen to this pod every day in Kearney, Missouri, and we're incredibly proud of that.
The best class yet. And Arnie and Ashley are a couple of dinkwads who just got down on one knee and got engaged over in Maui.
And congratulations to Sonny T, who just quit his job in Brooklyn to officially become a ninkwad.
A ninkwad. No income, no kids with a dog.
And congratulations to Doug Lopez at Onyx, who who just launched a brand spanking new product.
And a happy birthday and happy graduation from Tuck to Jordan Figueroa up in New Hampshire.
Happy birthday to Christian Bermudez, who's celebrating in Ireland.
And a happy 36th birthday to Rebecca Weber over on Federal Hill in Providence, Rhode Island.
Happy 21st birthday to Mariah Palman in Wayland, Maryland.
And Victoria Liu just quit that job to go into venture capital and is celebrating the birthday over in San Francisco.
And happy 30th birthday to the husband-to-be, Sebastian Bosma, over in Boston.
Just outside Boston.
And to anyone else celebrating something today, make it a T-boy.
Celebrate the wins.
This is Jack. Nick and I don't own any stocks of the companies mentioned today.
But we do like saying Dusseldorf.
Coke and Pepsi are the classic
Right.
example, but you also have iPhone and Android.
You got Visa and MasterCard.
You got Boeing and Airbus. Dude, we got to toss in a hilarious.
Oh, yeah, great idea. Hammaker and Schlemmer.